Assalamualaikum and hi. Today our group would like to talk about cell biology on how substances move in and out of cell. My name is Nur Anisatika binti Samsudin, metric number M25J3234, and I would like to talk about an introduction on how a cell move in and out of cell. Okay, so all living cells must constantly exchange substances with their surrounding to survive and work properly. This exchange is crucial because cells need a continuous supply of nutrient gases like oxygen and signal from their environment. At the same time, they need to get rid of waste products that can be harmful if they build up inside the cell. If this exchange did not happen, cells would not be able to produce energy, maintain their internal balance, or communicate with other cells. So the movement of substances in and out of cell is fundamental, not just for the survival of each individual cell, but also for the health and proper function of the whole
Why
organism.
exchange is so important? First is for nutrient uptake. Cells need essential nutrients, for example, glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, ions, and others to produce energy and build cellular structures. Without a steady supply, cells cannot carry out metabolism or repair themselves. Second is for gas exchange. For example, oxygen. Oxygen is required for cellular respiration to release energy in form of ATP. Carbon dioxide, a waste product of respiration. It must be removed to prevent toxic build-up. Proper gas exchange is vital to maintain energy production and pH balance in cells. Third is for waste removal. Metabolic processes produce waste materials such as urea, ammonia, and excess sauce. If not removed, this waste can poison the cell or disrupt normal functions. Continuous waste removal keeps the internal environment of the cell stable. And for the last one, is for communication between cells. Cells send and receive signals, for example, hormones, neurotransmitters, electrical signals to coordinate activities. This allows tissues and organs to work together in multicellular organisms. Communication is also crucial for processes like growth, repair, and immune responses.
So next, I'm going to explain to you the role of the cell membrane. First, the cell membrane plays a vital role in these processes by acting as the boundary between the cell and its surroundings. As a selectively permeable barrier, it regulates the movement of substances, allowing nutrients, water, and oxygen to enter while removing wasted and blocking harmful material. Secondly, beyond protection, the membrane also enables communication by carrying proteins and receptors that detect signals from other cells, hormones, or the environment. This selective control ensures that the cell can function efficiently, respond to changes, and coordinate with other cells to support the organism as a whole.
Okay, for the next we got types of transport. Cells use different methods to move substances in and out. The type of transport depends on the size of the molecule, the concentration difference, and whether energy is needed. First, we got passive transport, and for the second, we got active transport. And lastly, we got bulk transport, which is endocytosis and exocytosis. I'm going to explain the passive transport. Okay, the key idea. Passive transport. No energy or ATP required. Molecules move down the concentration gradient, which is from high to low concentrations. It is important for gas exchange, nutrient absorption, and maintaining water balance. For the passive transport, we got three examples: diffusion, osmosis, and also facilitated diffusion. Okay. For the diffusion, molecules spread out evenly. For example, oxygen and carbon dioxide moving across cell membranes. For the osmosis, movement of water molecules through a selectively permeable membrane. 1. Hypertonic. Water move into cell equals to cell swells. Second, hypertonic. Water move out of the cell equals to cell shrinks. And lastly, isotonic. Water move equally, which means cell stays in the same size. And lastly, for the facilitated diffusion, some molecules like glucose or ions need help to cross the membrane. These transport proteins act like doors or channels to let them in or out. Moving on to the active transport. Key idea. Movement of molecule against the concentration gradients, which mean from low to high concentration. This transport requires energy or ATP because it goes against the natural flow, essential for maintaining homeostasis in cells. Next, feature of active transport. Needs carrier proteins or pumps in the membrane. It is very specific because only certain molecules or ions are transported. We got example in cells: sodium-potassium pump in animal, which is we move 3 molecules of sodium out and 2 molecules of potassium in per cycle. It is important for nerve impulses and muscle contractions. The last transport, which is bulk transport, key idea. Movement of the large molecules or large quantities of substances across the membrane. This transport requires energy or ATP because the cell members changes shape. First, endocytosis, which means into the cell. Cell engulf materials by folding its membrane around them. Phagocytosis, cell eating, uptake of large solid particles. For example, white blood cells engulfing bacteria. And then pinocytosis, cell drinking, uptake of liquid droplets or dissolved substances. Lastly, we got exocytosis, which means out of a cell. Vesicles inside the cell fuse with the cell membranes and release substances outside. We got 3 examples. First, secretion of hormones, insulin, release digestive enzyme, removal of waste products.
In real life, we have plant white blood cells and breathing, for example. In plants, roots absorb water by osmosis and take in mineral through active transport, even when the soil concentration is low. Next, white blood cells use active transport during phagocytosis to engulf and destroy harmful bacteria. Lastly, during breathing, oxygen diffuses from the alveoli into the blood, while carbon dioxide moves out to be exhaled. In conclusion, substances move in and out of cells through passive and active transport. Passive transport doesn't need any energy to move in and out of cells. For example, osmosis process. Meanwhile, active transport needs energy to move in and out of cells. For example, an endocytosis process. This process ensures cells to survive, function, and interact properly. Understanding cells transport helps us to appreciate how life functions at the microscopic level. Every breath and every heartbeat are depends on these tiny movements.